Neon signs first lit up the North American landscape in the 1920s. The magical feel and look can be traced back to the granddaddy of the neon sign, the lightning bolt. Both are officially an electrical discharge through a gas. In a way, a neon sign is a lightning bolt, tamed by tubing. The comparative friendliness of the neon sign comes from the low pressure in the tubing and the characteristics of the gases themselves. So-called neon signs are not all neon. The basic neon tube is clear glass with neon gas, the characteristic orange glow. Other gases used are mercury vapor and argon. The rainbow of other colors used in signs comes from phosphor coatings inside the tubing, a lot like the phosphors in a TV picture tube. This is neon gas in a blue phosphor tube, pink. A white phosphor with mercury argon gives white, similar to a fluorescent light. This is pure neon in a stained glass tube, ruby red. Some tubes are double coated, phosphor on the inside and a colored filter on the outside. This assortment includes a clear glass on the left, followed by an inside phosphor, then several double coated tubes, and a ruby red on the right. We found all these neon signs behind this neon sign. It's hard to describe a neon sign operation without using the word magic. The tools are magic, tube bending is magic, and the signs themselves are magic. I'll try not to use the word again. In order to see the tubing and the gas flame, these guys usually work in the dark. Having a TV crew visit and install lights is not their favorite way to work, but they were awfully nice about it. Tubing is bent into shape using gas burners. Depending on the bend, a long, adjustable length ribbon burner or a needle-pointed crossfire is used. A rubber tube connects the sign to be to the person doing the bending. Blowing gently into the tube prevents it from crushing as it's bent and sagging due to gravity. Now the test. Can Eric bend a sign with our lights right in his eyes? Forming tubing into a sign requires skill, the right tools, and planning. You can get some insight into the planning process by forming a piece of string into your own signature. The artwork for the sign's been traced onto a heat-resistant mat. How much of a curve or bend can be done at one time is a matter of experience and the look and feel of the glass in the flame. Once the tube's finished, electrodes are attached to each end. The electrodes are coated with a substance that gives off electrons readily. The length of tubing in the finished sign determines the size of transformer that will be needed to run the sign. This little sign contains 6 feet of tube. Now the sign's passed over to the mad scientist. Several things are going to happen here. The glass is going to be relieved of air and relieved of stress it got during all that bending. The electrodes are going to be cured at high temperature, and impurities will be removed from the interior of the tubing. This will all happen at once. The sign's attached through a small tube and one electrode to a vacuum pump. Sheets of insulating mica are added wherever arcing might occur, and a strip of paper is laid on the sign. As the pump removes most of the air, connections made to the bombarding transformer. It's capable of 800 times the current of a normal neon sign transformer. Bombarding's a good name for this step. Lightning would be another name for it. The bombarding transformer causes the remaining air in the tube to ionize, conduct. This heats the glass and the electrodes. Bombarding continues until the glass reaches about 450 degrees Fahrenheit. That's what the piece of paper's for. Paper scorches at 451 degrees Fahrenheit. The sign's still being sucked to a high vacuum. When it's ready, the pump's removed from the circuit, and neon is released into the sign. Neon comes from a flask under the table. The neon in that flask is at atmospheric pressure, and only a tiny whiff of it is needed. This flask has enough neon for about 700 signs like this one. After filling, the small glass umbilical is severed, and the sign's connected to an ordinary sign transformer. The transformer for this sign will provide about 5,000 volts to induce the neon to conduct electricity. The instant that happens, the transformer's output drops to around 600 volts to sustain the friendly glow. Wonder what this sign says. Ah, magic.
Here, steady. Steady, come here. Nice, steady.